All right, welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. I'm Casey Campbell, of course. Welcome. And joining me is none other than Thad Moffitt, who will be driving the 46 Clean Packs Ford for DGR this weekend, which is now David Gillen Racing. Almost said the old team. But how are you, Thad?
I'm good, Casey. Thanks for having me on the podcast today.
All right. So you are hard to believe. This is your third time heading down to Daytona, running on the oval. I know you ran on the road course last year as well when they went there. But overall, of course, going to Daytona, what's it going to be like?
Daytona is just exciting. It has a really different atmosphere in itself. I think that no other track really compares to it, and we kind of call it our Super Bowl of racing. Getting the year started off with our Super Bowl of racing. We have a lot of family history with my family being my great-grandfather won the very first race on the oval after they built it, and then my grandpa won it 7 times. Kyle won the ARCA race. So we've had a lot of family success at Daytona. And, of course, my first time at Daytona, we sat outside front row and then blew a tire with like 9 to go in the race or something. And that stunk. And then last year we came back and started dead last, like 35th or something, ended up finishing 5th. So I'm just super excited about getting back with DGR Crosley and running this race. I know we have one teammate, Tanner Gray, for this race. So I think that we can get out there and make something happen this weekend, especially with how fast our cars were at the test.
Remember, it's David Gillen Racing. Remember the team name change?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, for those who do not know, Thad is the grandson of 7-time NASCAR champion, the King, Richard Petty, and, of course, is a nephew of former NASCAR driver Kyle Petty. So he's in that he is in the family of that for those that who may not know Thad, or for those who are just following NASCAR for the first time. So just wanted to get that out there. I know you've been at Daytona so many times. Is there really, what is it like? I know you've raced there so many times, but does it feel any different when you're down there? I know you were down there last night for the Clash, but like going down there all these times.
It's kind of like coming home. Every year we start off Daytona by spending 2 weeks in a row down here during speed weeks. And it's kind of something that everybody looks forward to. So, I feel like nothing really ever changes. We just kind of come put on a good show to start off the year every year down here in Daytona. So you do your whole off-season deal, and then you come back home to Daytona to start the year. And then after that, it's kind of wide open for the rest of the year until November,
Okay. So I know I asked you this earlier when the test was happening. But tell everybody what your plans are for this year.
So right now we're going to run the first 12 races in the ARCA series again, and trying to sell the back half of the season. So I think it gets us to like July or August on what we're running. And then we're going to try and sell the last 8 races and possibly do some truck races. We're looking at about 5 truck races that we want to do. But obviously the first priority is getting the ARCA races sold.
Yeah, of course. And that is good. Of course, there's a lot of things that, I've known you for a long time, but there's a lot of, things out there kind of like you're in this like family history thing. I know you get this question a lot, so many times, but what's it like to be part of, like in this kind of fraternity of family with your grandfather, your uncle, of course, your great grandfather, and everybody involved in that?
I guess I just never really knew anything different. I've kind of been in it my whole life. It's pretty normal at this point. Of course, everywhere you go out, they're like, the king, Richard. Hey, can I take a picture with you? Like, people don't even know anything about NASCAR, that don't even look like NASCAR fans, they'll be yelling his name and stuff. So, it's really, really cool to see that interaction that he has, that human interaction that he has with other people, and the effect that he has just by walking in the room on people. But I think that, like, just being part of that family, there's so much to live up to, especially on the track. But they never really put any pressure on me, you know. They kind of I know they'll love me, like, whether I flip burgers or win races or finish dead last, you know, they're going to love me either way. So they don't really put any pressure on me. All the pressure is on myself to kind of hold up that standard that my great grandfather, grandfather, and uncle have set as winners being petties.
Okay. So you've been racing for a long time, for the last 3 years in ARCA, and this is heading into your fourth season. There's a lot of things. I've done this with a few drivers on the podcast this week. So let's kind of get to know Thad Moffitt a little bit. Let's make this fun, since this is the podcast, and you know I like to have a little bit of fun here. So ready?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is your favorite meal? Like what's your like go-to place for food and all that stuff and all that? Because I'm sure you had to go out all those times during this shutdown and all that.
Yeah, so my favorite meal is sushi. I like to eat sushi.
Really?
Yeah, so we have a place like one exit from my house called Shoto's, and they have the best Hawaiian California roll. It's so good. So yeah, probably my go-to would be sushi.
Favorite sports team?
Clemson. Clemson is my favorite all-around sports team. I went to Death Valley last year and watched a football game. Nobody really – I mean, you could probably tell based on my first helmet that I raced in. I had Clemson on one side and then my grandfather on the other side, and Clemson is definitely my favorite all-around sports team.
What's the most memorable race that you can – do you have a favorite memory from a race that you've been in?
I have two. So my very first win at Anderson, I actually missed a shift. I qualified on the pole, missed a shift, ended up going back all the way to the back almost. Like there was like one car still behind me or two cars still behind me. And it was a 40-lap race, and it took me until lap 35 to get back to the lead. And I ended up passing for the lead 3 wide on the bottom. And so it was really, really cool to go on and finish those last 5 laps and win that first race. And I called my grandpa after the race, and he said, "You did good, but you got 199 more to go." So that was cool. And then this past year at Memphis, we had clean packs on for the very first time. And we had a 5th place car. I think we ran like around 5th all day. We were pretty good. And then going into the last restart, there was 3 laps to go. And I was like, man, dude, if we get a good restart, we got a shot at this. Like, and going into the last lap, I was racing side by side with Michael Self, and we ended up passing him, Haley, and Chandler Smith all in the last lap in the same corner. And so that was just like so awesome for me. To be able to pull off 3 cars in one corner was pretty cool.
Have you tried on the King's cowboy hat?
Yeah, I actually have one. So 3 years ago for Christmas, he gave every grandkid a Charlie One Horse hat, and I have it like in a shadow box in my room.
So I don't know if you caught this last night on the pre-race show, but apparently I think Eric Jones needs to win, and then he gets one. So
yeah, we'd like to see that this weekend.
That would be really cool if of course being from Michigan, and of course that's what just not of course he's from Byron, so that would be pretty cool to see the 43 go back to victory lane, especially at Daytona in the Daytona 500. So
absolutely, this would be the place to do it.
Yeah. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Yes.
How do you think it went? Did you like it?
Not really. I wanted to watch a game. I didn't really care for either team. I think both quarterbacks are phenomenal. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be the Tom Brady in 10 years. But I think you can't bet against Tom Brady. Like, he's the man.
Yeah. So we have, practice. Of course, ARCA, we're giving you one practice session. How about that? You get practice at a racetrack. Can't say that often.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get back out there. I think we have a few people we're going to try and work with in the draft. We're going to do like one single car run and then try and work with the 18, the 17, and the 23 and try and make some speed because, the Venturini cars, they have 4 cars. So it's going to take us teaming up to beat them, especially if they get lined up on the bottom. So I'm excited to go back out there and see how it goes. I mean, the test went really, really well. So, like, I'm not worried about how well we're going to draft or how well we're going to race. I just need to find some friends out there early in the race and try and make our way to the front.
So, what's your biggest pet peeve when it comes to racing or anything in general?
Lab cars, especially in the ARCA series. I hate racing side by side with somebody like for 4th or 5th or 3rd. Like even the leaders, even racing for the lead. I mean, the lap cars are just right there in the way when they don't need to be right there in the way, and that's really aggravating, I think.
So racing so what's your favorite track to race that you've raced at so far in ARCA?
Charlotte Motor Speedway. I know we didn't race there last year, but I raced there the previous year, and it's like my home track. Or I guess it is my home track, being from Trinity, High Point area, and I just really enjoy. That's one of the funner mile and a halfs, I think.
Okay, what's the most interesting thing people do not know about you?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know. Probably that like an adrenaline junkie, like extreme sports junkie. So like I snowboard all the time, wakeboard all the time, water sports, snowmobiles, ATV and side by sides, like crazy stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do when I'm not racing.
Right. So were you out in the so what crazy stuff did you do this off season?
So I went snowboarding a lot. We didn't go out west to snowmobile any, but just I didn't do a whole lot this off season because of COVID. You can't like go travel a whole lot. You can't do a whole lot of stuff. So it was pretty laid back off season this year.
You did go to of course you had the annual Petty Family Christmas, which was
Yeah, that's crazy in itself.
I'm like, so I mean obviously it's I hate saying this, but different. Did y'all like wear masks or something? Because that's what I've heard.
Yeah, so we all wore a mask at our family Christmas, which was different, but I mean when you got 30-some people, like if we have a family gathering, we're way over the limit that's supposed to be together right now anyways. So so we just all kind of played it safe and wore a mask, and we kind of canceled it out when we were all hugging each other and holding hands during the prayer and stuff like that. That kind of cancels out the whole mask thing, I guess. But we were good. Nobody got sick, so it was good.
That's good, man. Yeah. So good. What if you won at Daytona? Do you know how much? I think if the Earth would explode if you won because of
Yes, yeah. So I mean, that's the ultimate goal going into this weekend. I don't want to finish second. I don't want to finish third. I want to win the race. So we're going to do whatever it takes, hopefully, to pull off a win on Saturday. I think we have a car capable of winning this race. Last year we were a little bit off. We were fast, but we were a little bit off. But based on the test, and man, I really think that we have a car capable of winning this race this weekend.
Awesome. All right, Thad Moffitt, thank you so much for coming on. Good luck this weekend at Daytona, and and don't get me wrong, we're going to catch up with you later on in the year.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.